Africa is Benetu. Lipasinora. Sangulaju. Thank you, Program Director. My President, Comrade Xaba Mpashela, members of the NEC of the PAC present, President of the PAYA, Comrade Mafa, members of the NEC of PAYCO, leaders of this beautiful Africanist movement of ours, community leaders present, sons and daughters of Africa, I send revolutionary greetings to you. It is June 16, 2007 today. We are here to commemorate a very important day, a critical milestone in our history, a struggle of self-determination. It is in the same manner that March 21, 1960 removed the fear of jail, that 1976 removed the fear of the gun, according to Mangaliso Sobukwe's observation. Sons and daughters of Africa, it has always been the role of the youth to change fundamentally the way things are done. It has always been the role of the youth to be in the forefront of a revolution. It is the idealism of youth that has always moved societies from the paradigm on which they are to the paradigm to be, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. And in our history of resistance, it has been the same. If we trace it back, you will see that the youth of the early 90s moved our struggle from wars of resistance along regional lines to wars of resistance within a unified, nationally organized structure. The youth of the 40s moved our struggle from the struggle of protest to the struggle of defiance. The youth of the 60s broke the fear of prison and brought back the struggle, the armed struggle, back to our struggle. Sons and daughters of Africa, the youth of the 70s, that is epitomized by this day, broke the fear of the bullet among the revolutionaries and forced our young people to swell our armed forces, the armed forces of the liberation movement. It is the youth of the 80s that took our struggles to the streets using primitive weapons, conquered and put the army of apartheid on its back foot. Sons and daughters of Africa, that is the manifestation of youth power in nation building. That's why you find our theme today. The scientific definition of power, as indicated, is the rate of work. Power is not what you can do, because that will define you as potential. It is not how much pressure you can put, because that will be defined as force, but it will not be defined as power. For those who use offices to sleep instead of using them to benefit our people and do not have power, but the power lies in those who actually put work and exact and put the rate, the higher the rate of work, the higher the output. That is power. The power, the bigger the effect, that is power. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today to remind you of your calling. Every generation has its own calling. It may decide to accept it or betray it. According to Fanon, I am here to alert you to listen to the sound of the wind that is passing, that is blowing next to us. The sound that alerts us to wake up and take our calling and get to action as a generation. The grasp of colonialism is holding our Africa. The grasp of neo-colonialism is grasping our communities across the world. Africa is exploited in the rate that has never been seen before. But we say that we are in power. On top of that, we are currently being riddled by diseases and poverty more than ever in history. Africa cries to you as its youth to liberate it, to release it. It's upon you to cause a fundamental and an everlasting change in thinking and behavior. It is upon you, and no one else will do it for you. It is a calling that I wonder if we are hearing it properly and if we are responding to it in full, because it is our responsibility. As long as Africa is being exploited, it's because we allow it to be. The sound in the wind calls for us to increase our pace of work. It calls for us to take power. Let it be said that as I'm standing here in this platform, I'm here to call that we have to crush the system. We cannot enhance it. We cannot make it more efficient and effective, because the more effective it is, the more it devours. It is our responsibility to crush it. Wow. It is the demon that appears around us through corruption of government officials, through exploitation of workers, through the laziness of the educated class that is supposed to lead our institutions that assist and help us. It is the selling of our best assets to foreigners that we must confront. Sons and daughters of Africa, I'm here calling for you as a generation to confront the challenges that it faces us as young people. 60% of our young people are unemployed. The landlessness is upon us, therefore we cannot produce. We are financially excluded in institutions of academic learning, which we intend to improve ourselves. HIV and poverty is devouring us. It is our immediate call as PAYCO that as young people we aggressively participate in the civic movement. The civic movement across the continent is driven by the left from Europe that has the same interest as the capitalists that they go with. It is our responsibility that we take charge of the civic movement in this country. It is our immediate call as PAYCO that we form young workers' cooperatives. We cannot wait for employment, sons and daughters of Africa. By looking for employment, by begging for foreign investors, we are begging for domination, and that's not what we want. We want self-determination. We call on you to make your own jobs. We must be our own bosses. We must get out of the paradigm, a paradigm that says that a person with a sharper nose is more smarter, therefore will give you a job. It is our responsibility as an organization to take this program forward and make sure that we cut down on this 60% unemployment. I here call for PAYCO to take the responsibility to put food in the tables of African people in this country. No! I call for PAYCO to take the responsibility to ensure that health care is given to our people in this country. Sons and daughters of Africa, major work lies before us. The current exploitive regime that is growing, that was forced by the youth before us to hide and camouflage behind black faces, if I may put it that way, as they put it themselves. The following domination of our country must be crushed. We must rephrase what the great Comrade Mugabe has war cry in terms of Africa will not be a colony again. He has indicated that Zimbabwe will not be a colony. We must go further and say Africa will not be a colony. Mafrika Mafa, we are not stopping in Zimbabwe to take our land. We must take our land here. You are part of us. Africa from Cape to Cairo, Morocco to Madagascar is one. And every inch of that land belongs to African people, the indigenous African people. And we say that without fear of contradiction. And we say that without fear of contradicting ourselves. Because as PAYCO, we are preparing ourselves, and I'm calling to this gathering that we must be ready for the martyrdom, because the Chimaranga, the third Chimaranga must expand and touch Azania. Sons and daughters of Africa, poverty and disease are not ours. It's not natural that we die of those, and we must fight it. PAYCO proposed and is bringing this particular solution to this country. And we must go and spread the word wherever we go. That we are not requesting, we demand the youth ministry. With the disintegrated and frustrated youth development in this country, we need political direction and political accountability. We demand the youth ministry. The Youth Commission and some of Youth Fund. Let me start with the Youth Commission. Stands on a floor foundation. As PAYCO, as with other youth organizations, we can do advocacy. We don't need a state organ to do advocacy. We need a state organ that implements youth development, that is accountable to the public and accountable to Parliament, not that is accountable to executives only, and accountable for and foremost to young people. Umsobo Youth Fund currently, due to the lack of political direction, continuously wants the same institutions that include us in terms of finance and in terms of financial access to assess us and give money that has already been allocated to us. And that, sons and daughters of Africa, shows the lack of vision and the blindness of that particular institution. It has failed us and it continues to fail us. That institution, if you did not know, has R1 billion that it's sitting on. And that R1 billion has not touched, has not made any dent in the 60% of unemployment in this country or among youth people. With the mandate it has been given of reducing enterprises. We have learned a lot by looking at Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe has a youth ministry. That is why you'll hear the European media crying that the war veterans are very young. Because the land, 80% of the land that has been acquired from the settlers in Zimbabwe has been given to young people in Zimbabwe due to the efforts and the vibrant youth ministry in Zimbabwe. And the focus of the country in developing its young people. We got a lot to learn. It is my mandate standing here to call for a free specialist education. The doors of learning must be opened very wide to young people. But we are calling for an education that is informed by the history of Africa, by the look through the African perspective. It is the education that teaches revolutionary morals, revolutionary work ethics, and quality technical skills. It is my responsibility to stand here and pronounce that as PAYCO we call for the National Skills Development Audit. We do not accept and we reject with all its contempt the loud noises which say that there is a shortage of skills in this country. Who has verified that? It's a lie. It's a system that is made for us to be exploited by labor brokers and agents who claim to be giving us learnerships that do not enhance any of our skills, but just exploit us and make us work hours that are irresponsible without protection of the labor relations environment that we have. Sons and daughters of Africa, I stand here calling you to rise. We demand youth development. We are not asking for it. It's our right. We need it. And I stand here to call you to be agents of change wherever you are. It's our call to effect youth power and build the nation. Izweletu, Africa.
And I forgotten yours, I forgotten mine. What you got speakers? Yeah. What is empty?